The meeting's being recorded, just so y'all know.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I hear you have a dinner to go to.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
you're up.
Okay, that's simple. Back a few months ago, Ashley had mentioned, when we were talking about the EMS contract, that we do the 50,000, not the 64 for the ALS. Whether we should be thinking about adding that 20,000 that we get from holding funds into the contract versus depending on holding funds in case it dries up. So that's, we're not asking for more money, we're just asking which way you'd like to go. We do have to have the 20,000, there's no question, and probably a couple thousand more each year over time. We haven't changed the contract since 14 years.
Right.
So we've been able to maintain, and if we get in trouble, we'll let you know, financially, which are a lot of variables as you know in this industry with insurance and everything else. But we've been able to maintain and hold our accounts where we need them to purchase a new ambulance every 5 years and do all that stuff. But as anything else, we don't make any money at the end of the year. But I just didn't want to come back to you on the same conversation that was brought up to me, how you wanted to handle that.
So you need another 20,000.
No, we need 20,000 a year, whether it comes from holding funds or it's in our contract. Because we
just have to figure out how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, we've always just got it from holding funds. And
Right,
my
but that could dry up, so we don't know.
yeah, that was my
We don't
feeling.
know when, we don't know
Right,
if.
that's why we're here. So how, whatever works for you.
20,000 on top of the 50.
Right, on top of what you
Yes.
already get.
Yes, right, that's, we get the holding funds on top of the 50.
Correct.
And that seems to keep us soluble at this point, so.
Well, I think the best thing to do for us would be to figure out where we would find it in the budget,
And eventually just put it in the
Yeah,
contract and stuff.
rather than the holding funds, just because we don't know what they're gonna do,
Right,
Correct.
right.
you know?
Yeah, and if we
Because
do that,
I'm not even sure where that comes from exactly, I think it's all market-based,
It's a
right?
trust
It's holding, it's
It
holding.
is market-based.
Yeah.
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 So on a bad, sorry,
Yeah, so if you like anything else, a bad season.
That was recorded.
there it is. Well, they know.
Da-da-da.
None of them know who I am.
Just gave up your
I just
secret
gave up my
identity.
secret identity. But that was the old Holden Hospital, and when they closed down, the towns that used them in contract that received part of the funds, so that they get it on a yearly basis. And we use it as part of our operating costs, to pay for staff and then workman's comp, stuff like that, so.
We are pretty much purchasing all the police department stuff now too. We've always given them some, but now
Right.
we're doing everything from the expensive pads on through.
Right.
So just kind of keep that in mind as you divvy it out, that we're buying what pads for the
Yeah,
defibs and all that
Defibs.
stuff. But before, we were
Yeah.
just giving them
Right.
4x4s and things like that. So we don't mind one bit, as long as.
we
we're-
look at it that if they beat us on scene, they can get the defibrillator on them as first responders.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Makes
matter
sense.
who, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter whose defibrillator
Well,
is.
financially,
It's
it's a
for,
Sure, makes
if we're
sense.
gonna be there, it's for somebody that
Yeah,
needs
but
it.
if financially, it's a different.
It
thing,
is, well,
because
it's-
we weren't paying, those pads aren't cheap. So we're now buying those with the same money we weren't buying them with and trying to operate. So just keep that in the back of your mind, So, which we don't mind. I mean, as long as we're good, we'll always let you know, because everything gets accounted for, and the auditor is the same auditor we use. They come in and audit all our books, so we know where we are every year. And if we start seeing any real changes, we'll notify you as soon as possible. It's a touchy business, but so far, so good. So, we're not here to ask for more money, we'll just ask for whatever, we'll do whatever you think is feel appropriate. Whether you wanna add it in the contract eventually, or a little at a time, or however you want to do it.
Right,
Okay?
alright. Yeah, so we'll have to,
Just take a peek at it.
Yeah.
It would definitely make it feel more solid, no, it's,
right,
Yeah.
right,
Not
right.
having to rely
Yeah.
on something you don't really know.
but even if you did 10 or something, and then 10 from holding funds, and then, you know what I mean, as long as it's 20,000, no matter how we do it, that's just where it keeps us on that figure at this point, so.
Okay.
Okay? That's all we have. All right.
Well, thank you.
Any
Thank you.
questions for us, from the squad?
I don't have any questions, I think you guys do a fine job.
Yeah, we, just on the good note, we picked up three of our firefighters.
4,
The fourth one just has to finish his final test. But 3 of them just picked up their EMTs, so
Nice.
that boosted our roster quite a bit. and,
Well, we
we're
actually
very
have
busy.
19 students, we're gonna be sponsoring the class. Pat and I helped the company that ran the class rewrite the program so that it's much more, what is the word, passable, so that you can understand it.
100%
well.
passing rating, this
Yeah,
first time in state
and it's
history.
still state exam, still state certification, but the class is held differently, so, because we had so many people taking the class and it was so difficult, they weren't passing it. And they'd spend $1,000 and not pass it.
But with the 19 kids, everyone that took the test passed for the
Yeah.
first time in state history among any time
Yeah.
that had 100% passing rate.
So North will
So that's
have the
really
hub
great.
for a class up here, either every year or every other year. They'll host it here in town. And we'll try to keep it going.
You need it. Take good service when you need it.
Absolutely.
Fire's been crazy, we've been busy. So, I'm keeping an eye on the
We have
salary
been
count,
busy.
just to give you a heads up. I'll let you know, I'll let my representative know, check, where I'm at with that as we get the numbers in. But, okay?
Excellent. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
See you guys. Thank you.
Good luck.
Can I do the bylaw next?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
So,
That's this one here.
I reached out to town council because I sent him my special town meeting article, and he wants to do more research and see if it's a zoning bylaw change or if it's for the general bylaw. Could be both, but he's not sure which it falls into, so before we put it on a warrant, he wants to make sure, because if it needs public hearing and all that stuff, and then AG comes back and, gets us for not.
For the zoning article that we proposed, there has been a public hearing.
Yep, that's on the ATM, that's all set.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, so this is
This is just the,
possibly could need a hearing too?
yeah, according to town council, it might.
Okay.
Mhm. And they just found that out like about 10 minutes ago. Otherwise, I would have let you know earlier, but. Yeah, at first he was like, oh, it should be fine, and then he emailed me about 5 minutes later, he said, actually, I think it might be zoning bylaw, and I was like, we could leave it, he's giving me all these options, I'm like, why don't we do some more research and find out exactly where it falls before we try to.
So we'll probably be back to you in a week.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because I can post the annual town meeting next week, so if it doesn't need a public hearing, I can put it on the ATM. If it does, then obviously there's no time to do that, but it can go on the next special, if all the public hearings have been done.
Yeah, we'll probably do it in June then, right? We can't do this night.
But as I, before I guess, so my main reason for making it or proposing it to be a general town bylaw is because when it's part of zoning, all the existing sand and gravel pits are grandfathered, and we have zero control over it. And we have no permits, and we can't force them to get a permit, so doing a general town bylaw, we were hopeful to get at those that are active and have some control over them and actually ask them to get an annual resource permit to function. And then there's been one party in town, mainly Fred Smith, who wants to potentially put in a concrete processing plant, small plant for his pit area and make, another use, and then the Van Dale pit down on Hillsville. There's, I think, a composting thing going on, probably a stump grinding thing going on, and they're doing things down there that we don't know because we haven't been into the site for several years. And so this would be a way to get these two active pits having, maybe being more economically viable with accessory uses, and also for the town to have some control over them by asking them to come in every year and report. We didn't want to make it onerous, so we just put in $25, whether it should be 25 or 50 or more, could be certainly discussed, but that's the reason for making it a town bylaw instead of zoning. In fact, the second paragraph of this town bylaw proposal is actually verbatim what's going to be in our zoning. We've added that as, but again, it would only be new uses, so again, we're trying to get at existing uses.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna wait till we hear back from town council?
Yeah, and I'll explain that to them too, that we're trying to do it so that all the current, pits have to get permits and see what he says.
Great.
Okay.
else on that?
Nope, I guess I'm set from the planning board perspective.
Alright.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
We don't need to vote on that, right?
No, I think we should wait and see what the council has to say, and I'll just take it out for special. Yeah.
Did you have anything on here that you wanted to?
Not on the agenda, I talked to John and Brooke on Saturday and see if we could go over the issue here. I can,
You wanna? I guess we'll start at the top.
I didn't make copies of the Pioneer Valley stuff because I gave it to you last week.
Okay.
Town meeting agreement, so. And it was a lot of paper. Yeah, I brought it with me. So if you guys wanna vote to, wait, I can sign.
There's two of them.
There's actually 3 of them, I got one more today, so I figured we could just bang them all out today and
Okay.
send them all back.
And the third one's the same as the other ones?
They're all the same exact thing, just for different people, different addresses, so.
Alright. Okay.
I don't know if you, so we've got 37 Mount Diet,
You read them?
Yes, I remember last week.
19 Pine Lane, and then
Except for the third one, I don't have the.
this one was, 23 Bell.
So, let's see, do you have the addresses listed, all 3 of them? I think we can do them all,
Okay.
one vote.
37 Mount Diet in North Brookfield. We've got 19 Pine Lane in Brookfield.
Okay.
And then the one that came in today was 23 Bell Street, North Brookfield.
Now, let's see. I'm just looking for the right words I want to use here.
Mm. There's a letter on the very back.
So, these haven't started at all, right?
Nope.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the Pioneer Valley city and town owner agreements for the housing rehab program that we have with Brookfield for 37 Mount Guyatt Street, North Brookfield, 23 Bell Street, North Brookfield, and 19 Pine Lane in Brookfield.
So moved.
I'll second, motion's made and seconded, any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And just one signature?
Yep. And I'll make you guys copies of the, 23 Bell Street, so you have it, but, copies of the other ones, so.
CMRPC contract amendment, 2 of those or 3 of those?
There's
From last
2
week.
from last week. And then there's also additionally on the last one I wrote on there, Haley Ward, that came in last minute. It's the contract that, we had signed one with Leonard Engineering, but now they're Haley Ward Engineering, so we need to
Alright.
sign a new
Okay.
contract with them, so.
Yep.
And then these are just extending our agreement with, Central Mass Planning Commission. Well, one is extending our agreement and the other one is moving money from, housing rehab over to the senior center project. Cause there was money left in one part of it and we're trying to close it out, so we're trying to move it over to the senior center.
But they're both the same program.
They're both the same program, yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to approve contract amendment number 2 and contract amendment number 3 between the town of North Brookfield and Central Mass Regional Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second, motion's made and seconded, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
These are the ones I'm signing?
Yes, please.
Do you have the Haley Ward thing there?
I do have it. This is the page you need to sign.
And is, so this is something we already voted on, they just changed the name?
Yes.
Board of Health revolving account.
I think that's what Ethan was talking about when he poked his head in.
Yes.
He's gonna talk to finance and get back to us. Yeah.
I have it proposed on the, I do have it proposed on the annual town meeting. Basically, you guys just need to vote to establish the account and set the limit, and he wants a $35,000 limit. Cause right now, I think their annual budget is 10,000, they run out.
And that's what caused the problems with the
No,
bags last time?
No.
No, that was Hannaford.
that was Hannaford.
Got it.
Hannaford wasn't paying the bills, so they couldn't give them more bags. But luckily, that's all settled now. But this way, the revenues that they get from the sale of trash bags will go into that revolving account, so it'll just kind of self-feed.
Okay. Alright. So,
Yeah, I'm comfortable
Table?
with it.
Oh.
I'm comfortable with voting for that.
okay,
You know,
and then when he
Yeah.
speaks to finance, okay.
right, so if you wanna make a motion for that?
I move that we authorize the creation of a revolving account for Board of Health, for use of the purchase of trash bags at the recycling center with a maximum of $35,000 for fiscal year 24.
Alright, I'll second that, motion made and seconded, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright.
Is it Casey?
Interview process for assistant collector.
So, you're not gonna be here, I don't think.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to, but I don't know. I have to be in Boston at 3. I don't know if I can change that.
And
Because
go ahead.
it's a school and we can't work in there until the kids are out for the day.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I have to get my child to the school by 5:30, but I could come after that.
Okay.
And then to respond.
So we did have the, one candidate drop out, the one that was scheduled at 5. So the next one is scheduled at 5:30. So that's when we can start, so we have 3 candidates. I did give you guys copies of their application, okay, alright, the resumes. So it'll be me, Lisa, and whoever, I'm assuming John will be there, you know. And I have a list of questions from last time we interviewed for people, so.
And then pick 2 out of the 3 to come back for a,
I
for
don't,
a second
so
interview.
the problem with that is that Lisa's going on vacation for 2 weeks in May.
She can't.
She's going. So I wanna try to get someone in here as soon as possible, because at least someone, even if they're not gonna be fully trained by then, but at least they can sit in there and take payments and make notes and all that stuff, so.
Well, it's
we-
only 3, so.
Yeah, if there's 3 and we feel that there's, you know, we can see how the interviews go and then discuss after that. If we feel that there's one that really blows our mind, and we really want them, then offer, but if we're not sure, obviously, we can make adjustments
Yeah,
as
that's fine.
necessary. Okay. So John's not here, so I'm not even gonna bother with the storage units. Did you talk to him about that at all?
I did.
Okay.
So I can talk a little bit. So I was approached by the North Brookfield Theater Guild. They have 2 units, I believe.
They
Yes,
have to.
they do.
We currently have and pay for 2 units. They said that one of the units has a roof leak. And they also were not able to get into their units during a snowstorm, during the last snowstorm. In addition to that, I think there's some growth outside of their units. So John and I walked around and took a look, and I think the growth outside of their units should be fairly easy to just clip. It's a lot of like dried plants, but, so there's that. And then I don't know what the roof leak looks like, cause I don't know which numbers they have and whether or not we can get in there and take a peek.
Right.
But the other thought John and I both had was we could potentially move them into a non-leaking unit for now until that's mitigated, but he and I also had just a short discussion about how maintenance is gonna go on those. Because now we've,
Yeah, we're gonna establish a revolve account for next year, so we'll be able to.
yes, but who will manage that? Who's gonna manage the upkeep, I think is the question. And that was his question, who should I call? Because they say Board of Selectmen, or I think it says Board of Selectmen currently is in charge, but
Yep.
I don't know if it makes sense to, hire somebody for that particular,
Well, we gotta-
those tasks, or tack on hours to somebody already working on highway, since they're already,
Down there.
highway is down there,
Yeah, well, we gotta figure that out.
yeah. So anyway, it was just something that came up, and since we were there on Saturday, we poked around.
We gotta figure out if it's legal for us to actually make money on it too.
Right, although this would fall into the maintenance,
Right, but if we can make money on them, then you can hire, you're more likely to be able to hire somebody to come in and clean up.
That wouldn't
And
fall under
re-
maintenance?
and repairs.
I feel like that would fall under maintenance.
Cause the way I understood it was that we can't make a profit off of it, but all the money that we make can go back into basically running it. So if you wanna pay someone to fix it, or
Yeah.
maintain it, or to even, handle all the contracts and
Right, exactly.
it kinda has to be a self-sustaining thing.
So what's it make for the year?
I don't know off the top of my head, I'd have to look and, I have a spreadsheet with all the units that are rented out, how much they pay each month. Some of them, they range from $65 to $85 depending on when they started, cause Fran increased, as the years went on, but he never increased the people that were there originally, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of money, there's not a huge amount of people that pay, so.
And then the other thing we talked about, since we were walking around and Brandon and Jamie were there, we're curious and we were just talking, is we've got a lot of them that are full of stuff. And so we were talking about how to manage removing all of those things.
You mean abandoned? Full and abandoned?
Yes, full and abandoned, yeah, and not being used by the town, so,
I think once that, revolve account is set up, it'd be pretty easy to rent a dumpster and just chuck everything into it.
so Jamie said too, he's got a friend who does this for a living,
Oh,
so I know,
okay.
Friend of a friend, but, it would be really easy to just hire him and have him, pay him to remove it all, and Jamie felt like it wouldn't be as expensive as renting dumpsters. There's a lot, there's like a
Yeah.
motorcycle.
Yeah, having someone come get it is sometimes cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah, cause I'm sure there's a lot of useful stuff in there
well, I think he
You
said,
never know.
yeah,
It's rare that you're gonna find something decent that people actually abandon.
That's the thing, I mean, yeah,
mhm.
people pay a lot of money to store their junk.
And the one with the motorcycle, I think we identified as Danny Roman's. So I think John was gonna reach out to his ex-wife, because we haven't heard from him, is that right?
I heard from him last June,
Last June.
no, in January. No. I can't remember. I did talk to him on the phone, and he
Okay.
said that he was gonna make arrangements to get caught up on payments. Never heard from him again, and that was 6 months ago. I think he said he was planning on being all caught up by June, but then he never made a single payment, so.
Okay.
And he moved out of town, and that's
Yeah.
where he is, so.
Right.
Alright.
So anyway, that's the gist of that walk around.
Alright, get you on caught up.
Okay. Since we're on the subject, of your, the walk around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hoping John would be here tonight, but, in any case, he made some suggestions, I came up with some, you know, suggestions for rules for open space. He made some suggestions, kind of incorporated in here, what kind of, my thought is just to have some sort of blanket rules for open space that isn't currently, in active use, such as the rail trail and town forests that already have rules in place. And then if there's a specific, property, the rules can be modified, they need to be tailored to a specific property. So, right now, I'm currently, you know, focusing on the Donovan Road property. Yeah, because we still have some issues there. Some easement property, for private purposes, but, so I also made a copy of the deed, to the Donovan Road property, to the abutters property, and also the plot plan that clearly shows the property lines of stone wall, so. I have all that. You know, if we need to, I mean, this Donovan Road's really kind of under the care of the Conservation Commission. If we need to send a letter, we'll do that.
Is it still the wood?
Yeah, and apparently there's a truck parked there.
Oh, really?
Uh,
That's the one we looked at
yeah,
already?
the one that we
With
discussed a few
with the
weeks ago.
drone?
Yeah,
We looked at it with the drone?
I guess
I think so, it looked like a drone shot.
Jamie, I guess, was
Oh.
submitted that.
Okay,
So,
alright.
anyway, so that's kind of my thought on that, you know, look over the list of suggestions here, kind of like to really have something that we can post as public policy at some point, in not the too distant future,
Absolutely.
so,
We'll do that, at one of our regular meetings.
you're right, yeah, that's why I wanted to kind of get this, so you could just kind of peruse it, before then, so,
Is this for us?
yeah, that's for you, just in case.
Like number 4 when we were
Do you
talking
have
about.
that already, or?
No. I'll put it in
So, yeah, so,
Alright.
you know, kind of,
That's good to me.
yeah, I mean, you know, it seems to be an issue with people encroaching on,
Yeah.
town-owned property, not just there, but other places, and, you
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like, it's not, it's for public use, not somebody's private, usage, and same thing, like, you know, kind of irritating people who decide to use the size of the roads for dumping their stuff too, but, you know, it's kind of, I think it's
Yeah.
all kind of, you know, we want to kind of make this available for the public to enjoy, it's a nice piece of property, it's all different, because it has some nice water features in it, it's different than like the town forest and the rail trail and stuff, so, it fits into that kind of, you know,
Absolutely.
whole master plan idea of promoting outdoor recreation and such, so,
Alright,
that's that.
thank you. Payroll for our region.
So it's a payroll